The new Quarkus Tools for Visual Studio Code release now supports Gradle projects. To create a new Gradle project, you can call the generate a Quarkus project command, which now handles both Maven and Gradle projects. I will create a new project and generate it in this directory. As you can see, the Quarkus project has been created. For the current Gradle project, the Add Extensions to Current Project allows you to add extensions from this list. Next, there is now debug support for Gradle-based Quarkus projects. In VS Code, I've opened a Gradle-based Quarkus project, and to debug, I can call the debug current Quarkus project command. This command now works for Maven and Gradle projects. This will create the necessary launch configuration and debug task to start the Quarkus dev command. As we can see, it's been started in this terminal, and it will also attach the debugger right afterwards. To confirm that, I can make a breakpoint in this method and call the hello endpoint in my browser. As you can see, we did reach the breakpoint, stopped execution. I can continue execution, and we do see hello from Gradle as expected. Moving on, I will now show the application.properties language features. There is now a quick fix for the unknown property error. You can see that there's an unknown property error because there's a typo. There should be a C. The quick fix suggests known properties that have a similar name. So we see Quarkus http.course. Use the quick fix and the problem is solved. There is also a new quick fix that deals with the invalid enum value error, and this quick fix is very similar to the quick fix I just showed. So in this case, the enum value is spelled incorrectly, and the quick fix would suggest known enum values that are valid to fix this problem. If there aren't any known enum values that are similar to the value that we have, so in this case, this value isn't similar to any of the logging level values, the quick fix would then suggest all possible valid values instead. Another new feature is that you can now provide a glob pattern to ignore unknown property validation. In this case, we have 4 unknown properties, and they each start with demo. To ignore this, we can go to the validation unknown excluded setting and provide a glob pattern that represents those properties. In this case, something like demo.star would work pretty well. Hit OK, go back to application.properties, and we can see that the unknown property error are now gone. This only ignores the unknown property errors, so other errors such as missing equal sign will still work. Next, there is now support for logging level values. What I mean by this is that for property keys that expect a logging level, so essentially these types of properties, they now have completion support for the value, hover support, documentation, and also validation support. So in this case, it's being validated and it's saying invalid enum value. There is now auto-completion, documentation, and hover for the 3 default profiles. These are the 3 default profiles, and we can see that we have their documentation on the side. There's also hover support, and the documentation appears on hover. The default profile hover also works if there's a Quarkus property appended to the end. If you hover over the profile, you get the profile documentation, and if you hover over the property key, you get its documentation. There is now a quick fix that allows you to add all the missing required properties to your project's application.properties file. To use this quick fix, you must go into settings, and you must enable the missing required properties validation. By default, it's disabled because the severity is none by default. To enable it, set it to warning or error. After that, go back into your application.properties file, and you will see that there is an error message saying missing required property. This quick fix, add all missing required properties, will allow you to add all the missing required properties at once. This wraps up the new major features for this release. Thank you for watching.